Well, there's some big breaking news which is coming in a month after Sushant Singh Rajput's death. Now, actor Rhea Chakraborty demands a CBI probe, and she has posted several messages on Twitter demanding a CBI probe and has said that she must ensure that the Home Ministry looks into it. In fact, not just that, now we have more breaking news that we are getting for you. There is a plea which has been sent to the Mumbai police demanding that his entire house is sealed, to ensure that Rajput's house is sealed and there is no destruction of evidence, because there are several allegations which are raised about whether it was a suicide which was due to harassment by other people, which is why an advocate has written to the Mumbai Police Commissioner saying that it's essential that the entire house is sealed. Well, that's a big breaking news that we are getting for you. Ishkaran Bhandari is the person, the advocate, who has demanded that the crime scene be sealed. This after reports that it has not been done. Let me go across to Priya, who's joining us with the very latest on this. Priya, if you can show us what Ishkaran Bhandari has said in his plea to the police.
Right, Meghna, let me quickly run you through the petition that has been sent, as you can see here, to the Police Commissioner of Mumbai. And as you mentioned earlier, it has been filed by Ishkaran Bhandari. It is based on media reports that mention that the flat where the mysterious death of Sushant Singh Rajput had occurred has not been strictly sealed. Now, this plea is requesting for preserving the crime scene by sealing it. It further goes on to say that I want to bring to your attention the need to preserve and seal the crime scene, as there are certain media reports that mention that are going viral on social media that say that the flat has not been sealed, and also in spite of this viral and distressing information being spread, Mumbai police has not released any authoritative statement to that effect that the flat has been strictly sealed, kept out of bounds, so that there is no manipulation, which is leading to the misinformation and anxiety among the public, as public at large is vitally interested in justice in this case, and therefore I'm writing this letter to address that concern. Now, this letter, it says that for preserving and sending all the material electronic evidence connected or incidental to the death of Mr. Sushant Singh Rajput, the contents of this letter for the purpose of brevity are not being reproduced here. So there have been other similar requests. This becomes very important given the fact that now there is a renewed chorus for a CBI probe, and there is still no definitive clarity around the reasons for his sudden demise.
Well, Ishkaran has written that plea to the Mumbai Police Commissioner. We'll have to wait and see if they act upon it. Let me go across to Sushant. Sushant, you need to tell us about the conspiracy theories which are doing the round, which is why several people, not just Rhea Chakraborty, Ishkaran Bhandari, several people have come out and said a more thorough probe is required into it.
Well, that's right. As I mentioned before, that with this particular tweet by Rhea Chakraborty, certainly pressure has started mounting on Maharashtra government and Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray to refer this particular case to Central Bureau of Investigation. As you know, Meghna, that from a very long time, even since the day of his death, Sushant Singh Rajput is trending on Twitter. This is perhaps the reason of pressure on Mumbai police, which is also investigating the case. Now, I have managed to speak to one of the officers probing the case, and they have just told me that we are at a very crucial stage in an investigation, and very soon we'll come out with the entire theory and the reason for Sushant's suicide. Now, the question goes for Mumbai police is, so far they have recorded statements of 35 individuals, which includes family, friends, associates, but they have still not recorded the statement of the doctor. The doctor's prescription was found in Sushant's apartment, but his statement has still not been recorded. Now, Mumbai police has to say that a doctor's statement would be recorded at last to corroborate the claims made by others in their statement to police first. Second, there were several hints dropped by Mumbai police in last couple of days saying that investigation is about to end. We are about to conclude the investigation. Well, yes, Mumbai police is denying this officially, but unofficially sources are telling us the same. And the third most important, Rhea herself was questioned in this entire case. Her brother was questioned because they own 3 companies with Sushant Singh Rajput, and Mumbai police has also gone through the financial details of those companies. So this is the first time an insider is asking for a CBI probe, requesting Home Minister of India Amit Shah to order a CBI probe, which is not possible without the consent of the state government. So, this is the first time an insider who happens to be a girlfriend of Sushant Singh Rajput is writing to a Home Minister asking for a CBI probe.
Well,
so a big setback for Mumbai police.
Swamy had also come out and said he's ready to push for a CBI probe. But for that, remember, at least the family needs to come out and say that they too require that. That hasn't happened so far. But this is the first big step. His girlfriend has demanded a CBI probe. This is a call-in show. We're asking you, the viewers, what do you think about this story? What do you think needs to be done from here onwards? The numbers are there flashing at the bottom of your screens. Let's go across to one of our viewers, Chavi, calling us from Panipat. Go ahead, Chavi. What do you think? Chavi, if you can hear me. Well, I request all our viewers who are giving us a call on the show, please do put your television sets on mute, then we'll be able to hear you better. You'll be able to hear us better as well. Shaina NC is also joining us of the BJP. Shaina, do you think that the Home Ministry is going to seriously consider, given the kind of demands which are coming in from even the likes of Subramaniam Swamy, for a CBI probe into it?
Well, everyone is of the opinion that law should take its course. But having said that, I don't think it is for any of us to jump the gun. Let the Honorable Home Minister and the Home Ministry decide what is the correct way ahead. I'm sure that everyone can put forth their request, but it is imperative for us as a society not to be judgmental and clearly not to be driven by a media trial or by public sentiment which is limited to a relationship or a feeling that it should be out in the public domain. It must come out in the public domain, yes, but a CBI inquiry is absolutely the prerogative of the Home Ministry, and it is for the Home Minister to take a call.
It is for the Home Minister to take a call. Thank you so much, Shaina, for joining us. Let me go back across to some of our viewers. Another one of our viewers, Vaishali, calling us from Mumbai. Go ahead, Vaishali. What do you think? Well, in fact, seems like there's a bit of a problem. Chavi, Panipat, if you're there with us, go ahead. Well, do keep your phone calls coming in. We'd like to hear your views on this issue as well. Let me go back across to Siddhant. Siddhant, what's the status in the Mumbai police probe, which is looking into what they have initially already called it a suicide?
Well, that's right. Mumbai police is not at all looking into a murder angle. Let me clarify this for our viewers. Mumbai police is looking into an angle of professional rivalry, because since the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, there were several stories floating on social media saying that he was a victim of nepotism in Bollywood, and this is the reason that even later Kangana Ranaut also spoke about it and given this case a very different direction. Right after that, a probe was ordered by Home Minister Anil Deshmukh, and Mumbai police is currently investigating the professional rivalry. Now, going by my sources in Mumbai police, they are telling me that they have not found anything substantial. So far, they have not found anything substantial in the case to back the claim of professional rivalry. Since they are investigating the professional rivalry angle, they have questioned almost all the biggies of the town, including Sanjay Leela Bhansali to Reshma Shetty to Shanu Sharma from the Yash Raj films. They all have been questioned, and they all have given specific reason that why Sushant was denied film from their production house. Now, Sanjay Leela Bhansali had to say to Mumbai police that Sushant Singh himself was not available. He was booked. He was booked with another production house. The same way other directors have also said the same. So, going by the statement, the versions that Mumbai police have got from these biggies, which includes producers, directors, co-stars, and going by the versions of the family member, they have not come to any conclusion yet, and they don't have any evidence to prove a point that there was a professional rivalry involved and Sushant Singh was a victim of nepotism. At the same time, lot of them have also confirmed that Sushant was in depression. There's a prescription which was found from his residence, doctor's prescription.
So a lot of questions are still unanswered. Stay with us, Siddhant. We'll just come back to you. Several of our viewers are also calling in. Our viewer Murthy is calling us from Hyderabad. Go ahead, Murthy. What do you think?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Murthy.
The state police are not at all trustable. They prejudice the matter and they always come to a conclusion. They drop the gun. They say that this has happened. The clear-cut murder cases, they don't investigate properly at all. And see, if in my opinion, if they get their share of bribe or whatever the way you want to call it, so they rent the matter. Ultimately, they book the victims only.
Right. So Murthy is essentially saying he doesn't think that the Maharashtra government is doing a good enough job when it comes to probing this death. Let me in fact go across to Majid Memon of the NCP, who's also there. He's also a legal, so which is why he can perhaps give us a perspective. Majid Memon, first question to you. Do you think this is a fit case for your government to now hand over to the CBI, given the chorus has been rising?
You see, it is not the wish of any person or any body to take a decision that the matter should be handed over from police to CBI. In appropriate cases, of course, the administration does take such decisions, but not that every other case has to be handed over to CBI. There has to be certain reason for taking it over from the police and giving it to CBI. As far as this Sushant's suicide probe is concerned, well, since he belongs to Bollywood and there is a lot of following and a lot of wide publicity to the act of this man ending his life, therefore there is little more excitement and suspense is created even unduly at times. Now, whether it's a case of pure suicide or it's a case of abetment of suicide, or it's a case of culpable homicide amounting to murder or not amounting to murder, whether it's a murder, because, there could be any possibility unless and until the police comes.
But Mr. Memon, that is the criticism against your government, that your Mumbai police is not really looking into too many angles. Already they have said it's a suicide even before any note or anything concrete was found. First thing that the Mumbai police came out and said it is a case of suicide. So many are saying, as you just heard our previous viewer, calling to say that they don't think a thorough enough job is being done.
No, I don't think that there is an allegation against the government for inaction.
Well, there have been. You just heard one of our viewers who called in and several people on Twitter.
No, actually, the Mumbai police is collecting evidence from various angles, and they have already recorded the statements of quite a few known Bollywood personalities also.
Yes.
But they are not jumping to conclusion, and they are also not revealing every minutest angle of the case because it is not supposed to be revealed. You see, when the investigation is on, the certain aspect of the matter has to remain guarded so that it is not damaged by interested party. And therefore, until the challan is filed against anybody who is prosecuted, the policemen are not supposed to make the statements or the contents of the statement public. And therefore,
well, actually, in many cases, they have been giving minute-by-minute updates, but the police themselves came out and said it's a case of suicide. But we'll be keeping a close eye on this one. Thank you so much, Mr. Majid Memon, for joining us here on the show. Let's go back and get some of our viewers also and hear into what they want to say. There's Rajpal, one of our viewers, calling us from Mumbai. Go ahead, Rajpal. What do you think?
You see, madam, the Mumbai police is investigating the matter. Let them give some finding, and only then it is advisable that CBI should take over. I personally feel under depression he might have committed suicide, and I don't know why all this is being created. I don't think anything will be found out, but still, if the people are interested, let the Bombay police close the case. And if they are not satisfied...
Fair enough, then let's give the Bombay police a chance, is what you are saying. Thank you so much for calling in. Rupal, one of our regular viewers, calling in from Vadodara. Go ahead, Rupal. What do you think?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for taking my call. My point is that for every matter, you cannot run to CBI. And everyone is suddenly woken up after 1 month. Rupa Ganguly, after 1 month, she is saying, have a CBI inquiry. Now, Rhea Chakraborty writes to Home Minister saying, please give this thing, CBI inquiry. So it is not a, it's not a something that you just, for which you just run to CBI. Why have you woken up now? What were you doing since past 1 month? You were aware that he died because of mental, all this stuff, because he couldn't cope up with all that. So depression and all took his life, or he took his own life. Doesn't mean that you run to CBI to say, tomorrow I'll go into CBI and say, oh, I don't have a job. Please, I'm going to commit suicide. Please help me and all that. So you go to police. Police is doing their job. So let them do it. Why run to CBI
so let
for
the
everything?
police do their job. We'll wait and see what is the outcome of that before jumping to any conclusions. Thank you so much for joining us, Rupal, and all the rest of the viewers who've called in as well. Well, of course, this is going to be one of the stories that we are focusing. After all, unfortunately, a very young, talented life has been snuffed out brutally in this twist of fate. We hope that there is going to be some kind of light shown as to the reasons behind